This video was made possible thanks to my amazing patrons at patreon.com/magicalhacker. If you're not a patron and you would like me to make a video for you each month using your decks, become a patron today. Hey everybody, before we jump into the video, I want to do a quick reminder to let you guys know that I am doing a giveaway. If you want to win one of these 15 cards on Magic Online, make sure you go down to the description. You'll see a link how to enter in. Click that link and just write a comment with which card you hope to win in the giveaway. Once you do that, you'll be entered in, and I will try as much as possible to get everybody the card that they want if they happen to win. But I will be waiting until I get 30 people who have entered, and then I'll be doing the giveaway on an episode of the Blood Hall. So with that reminder out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Gavony Township, the show where it's not about me and my decks, it is about you and your decks. Whether you're a content creator that I'm collaborating with, whether you're someone that's won one of my Facebook or Twitter giveaways, or whether you're a patron of mine at patreon.com/magicalhacker. This is episode number 50, big of 50, looking at the Trostani Selesnya voice deck submitted to me by my patron Unspokenblood. So huge shout out to Unspokenblood. Thank you very much for being my patron. Big shout out and big thank you to all my patrons over at patreon.com/magicalhacker. So this Trostani deck, let's go ahead and read off the commander and then we can talk about what the deck is actually doing. So Trostani Selesnya's voice, 4 mana for a legendary 2/5 Dryad that says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Then they can pay 3, tap it, and populate. So creating a token that's a copy of a creature token you control. With Trostani, normally what I see a lot of is decks that will do a lot of life gaining, maybe some proliferating shenanigans as well. And honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing what Unspokenblood has for me here. That's usually what you'd want to be doing here with Trostani, is populating those tokens, using that to get the life gain. Maybe doing some life gain stuff as well within the deck, but not necessarily. It's not necessary to do that. So let's go ahead, let's stop wasting time, and let's go ahead and pop open this deck and see what we got inside. Now we've got 34 lands, not too bad. If we've got the Soul Ring in here, do we got Soul Ring? I believe we do. Usually, actually, no, we don't. We don't have a Soul Ring in here, but that's fine. Soul Ring can't even be used to pay for the commander, so sometimes people don't, play it in their Trostani decks or their Rakdos decks. Like, there are a couple of decks that people don't play them in. Yeah, 34 lands might be just too low here for this deck. I try to, include a couple more, maybe like 2 more if possible. But I think it's close enough that we won't actually touch the mana base here. We'll be okay with the mana base the way it's set up. All right, so with Trostani Selesnya's voice, let's go ahead and take a look at what we got. So we got Path to Exile, Source of Plowshares. Both of these are some good spot removal. We've got Withered Wayfarer, which I think is close enough to the mana base that, 35 makes me a lot happier. We've got some life gain from Essence Warden. Risk the Redeemed here, some more token-based stuff. We've also got Alter the Brood, which is mill. I don't know how much mill is going to be important in this deck, and I try to avoid milling my opponents when when I'm not trying to mill them out, because milling opponents makes them tend to get more access to using their recursion for other ways to maybe win the game. We got 2 Haste Enablers, 2 also protection here from the Swift Boot and Lightning Greaves. Sterling Grove kind of also counts as protection, so I'll put that there. Eladamri's Call, a tutor. We've got Earthcraft, which is some more ramp here. We've got already the Weather Wayfarer doesn't count here as ramp. Cryptolith, right, though, definitely the same kind of category. Grand Abolisher, this one shuts down specific decks, so we'll put that into its own category. Intangible Virtue, this one is an Anthem that also gives Vigilance. I don't know if either one of those aspects are really important, but we'll see as we keep going through this. Another tutor here. Dallas Escort, some more protection. We'll put that here in this category. Aura Shards, this is going to deal with artifacts and enchantments. I'm going to put this into its own category. We'll make this like the spot removal category eventually. Squirrel Nest, this will definitely be a combo with Earthcraft. That's probably what's going on here, trying to get infinite life. It also works pretty well with the Essence Warden if we happen to not have access to the Trostani. So Earthcraft, Squirrel Nest, I think that's going to be pretty good. Eternal Witness, this is some recursion here. We don't have any in it yet, so I shouldn't be saying more. But we'll go ahead and make this a recursion category right here. We've got Crows and Grip, some more spot removal. Kadama's Reach is ramp. We'll put that into the category here. Yeah, Squirrel Nest, you know what? This is definitely going to be a different category. This is going to be a token generator. So let's go ahead and make another category for that. Token generators all the way over here. Okay, not bad. We've got Journey of Discovery. This one allows you to play 2 additional lands. Almost like ramp. I think it's close enough for me. Cultivate, again, more ramp here. Beast Within is going to be some spot removal. We've got Rootborn Defenses, which is some protection. Karmic Justice also kind of counts as protection. Idyllic Tutor is definitely going to be a tutor effect. We've got Witchbane Orb, which gives us hexproof here. I don't know how necessary that is. There might be a lot of decks that want to target Trostani. We'll put it into its own category here, generating hexproof for ourselves. We've got the Phyrexian Processor, another way to make tokens. And you know what? I'm kind of thinking about this. The Grand Abolisher definitely fits with the Witchbane Orb. We can put the token generators over here because they're probably going to be more necessary for us to see every now and then. Aetherflux Reservoir, we can use that with our life gain. So we'll put that into the same category here as life gain. This one allows you to regenerate each creature you control. So in a way, this kind of counts like protection. It also allows you to gain life when it enters. It's a tough one here. I think we're going to put that into the protection category. We've got Glare of Subdual. This one's definitely going to be Pillow Fort. We don't actually have a spot for that just yet, but we will find a spot for it because, yeah, that's a really good card in any token-based deck. Basically, the green-white version of Opposition. Not as great, but certainly pretty good. More token generators here. Not a whole lot of token generators, to be honest. I mean, we've got Second Harvest as well. Card draw here. Do we have a section for card draw just yet? I don't see one. So we'll go ahead and make a new category for our Harmonize and start off some card draw that way. Yeah, card draw is going to be very important for this deck and really every deck in general. You want to be able to draw into your cards that you put into your deck. This one's definitely going to be counting as ramp, but also as a token generator, so I'm going to put that in that section instead. This one's going to be ramp, so we'll put that there. Parallel Lives, making more tokens. Explosive Vegetation, we've got in the tokens section. Return to Dust, that's definitely going to be spot removal. Elspeth, Knight Errant, this is going to be a token producer. Rock's Faithmender, this is more of our life gain strategy that we've got here within the deck. We'll keep adding that into that category. Now, Alhammar's Archive also doubles up life gain, but it also doubles up card draw. So, while I'm not usually considering Alhammar's Archive to be card draw, yeah, no, maybe it's better just put in life gains. Yeah, we'll just put it there and call it a day. This is more protection here, the privileged position. We've got a Johnny Mentor of Heroes. So this is going to count as card draw. We'll definitely put it over there with our card draw that we've got. This allows us to find more cards, so I'm happy calling that a card draw effect. It's also can give us a lot of life gain, so I don't mind that either. This is some more token producers, although it also counts as card draw. So we'll keep in mind that our card draw is actually technically +1. This one's going to be a win con for tokens, so we'll put that into this category with the Intangible Virtue. Acidic Slime, this one's pretty interesting. It's going to be spot removal, but we can always make a token copy of it with certain effects. I think without the blue, we might actually be able to do that here. Blue and red are going to be the effects that will allow us to make token copies of things, so maybe that's not going to be super likely here. Nist's Expedition, that's definitely going to be ramp. Did I put this in the wrong spot? Yeah, I put that in the wrong spot. There we go. Doubling Season, some more ways to make tokens. Hallowed Burial, this is a board wipe. Do we have a section for board wipe just yet? I don't think so. We'll put the Risk to Redeemed with our token stuff because that was something we forgot. Along the way, same through the Path to Exile and Swords to Plowshares, that has to go all over here. And board wipes here, we've got the Hallowed Burial as our first card. We can go ahead and move our card draw back over now that we've got that set up here. So we'll go ahead and move this over. And yeah, we're at 3 card draw right now since we don't have the Garrick over there. We want to make sure that we're keeping track of the card draw and of the token producers. Our Motto Worm. Now, this was a fantastic card because you can proliferate that big worm. And I think that's kind of the tokens you want to make. You want to make the big tokens, right? Big tokens, much better in this deck specifically. Do we have a lot of recursion? We have the Eternal Witness. So we'll go ahead and put the Sun Titan in the same category as that. Okay. We've got here Soul of Theros. This allows us to gain First Strike and Lifelink, more importantly. So that's going to go into our life gain theme here. Darien, King of Kajeldor. This one's pretty good if we've got stuff like Essence Warden. And might even be a reason why we want to get down the other cards that are like Essence Warden. Soul, I think it's Soul Warden and, what was it? Soul Warden and, can't remember the other one here, but I'll find it in a second. Seer Command is another board wipe for us here. We've got Trostani Summoners, some more token production. Same thing with the White Sun Zenith. Praetor's Council, this is going to be another effect that's going to allow us to have recursion. And honestly, it's one of my favorite recursion spells out there. I mean, green has a lot of really great recursion. So we're going to go ahead and include that there. Elder Norn certainly counts as this category of buffing up our creatures. Sarah Avatar, this was an interesting one. I've seen it be pretty cool. Now, if it had something like flying on it or something else that allowed it to be harder to block, I'd be more interested in it. But here, yeah, not really. I don't really feel like this is the right deck for this. So I think that's going to be starting off our drop pile. And other than that, yeah, we've got Tooth and Nail as a tutor. So yeah, we see a lot of things here. We definitely want some more card draw. That's going to be part of what we want to see. Alter the Brood, not going to be good in this deck, I think. I mean, unless there's something that I'm missing that you want to be using the milling for, I think that's going to be helping your opponents more often than not. So I don't want to see. I don't want to be doing that here. The Loxodon Hierarch, I was thinking about this one. I mean, it's got the life gain and it has the regenerate, but you really can't surprise your opponents with it, and you have to hold up the mana for it, so it makes it tough. You're kind of stuck in two options. Whereas everything like protects things all the time, and you don't have to pay the 2 mana for it, or it's like an instant that you can surprise your opponents with. So that makes it a little bit better. We've also got the Dauntless Escort, which makes me wonder why we're not playing. There's a 2 mana version that does basically the same thing. I know it's smaller in its toughness, so Trostani won't be as won't be as helpful. But really, does that matter? You know, the 1 mana difference I think is going to be pretty nice, especially that with Karmic Justice, this only counts for non-creatures. So if we were playing like a lot of artifacts or a lot of enchantments, yeah, Karmic Justice will make a lot of sense. Planeswalkers, although I guess Planeswalkers can get attacked, so that gets around it too. Yeah, when you're playing a lot of artifacts or enchantments, Karmic Justice makes sense, but we're playing so many creatures here, I don't know if this actually makes that much sense in this deck. I'd much rather be playing one of the many other types of effects that allow us to keep our creatures protected. We've also got the Privileged Position in here. I mean, there's Asceticism, which kind of does the same thing. It's only for our creatures. I don't know. It's a tough decision here. Sterling Grove protects our enchantments. It also lets us tutor for enchantments, so I think that makes it probably what we want to. We want to put it in the tutoring section. Swift of Boots, Lightning Greaves, Privileged Position, Dauntless Escort, Rootborn. Yeah, I think this is fine here. I'd like to see some more ways to generate indestructibility. I think this is what I'd like to see first of all. I'd also like to see some ways to combo with Darien, although that's not going to be our commander. I think those types of effects, if Essence Warden is good for the deck, I mean, so are those other cards. They've got to be. And with Darien out in the battlefield, I mean, we can really do a lot of damage. Really, Darien works with Trostani, so I don't even know if we... You know what? The Essence Warden kind of seems like a weird inclusion here. Darien doesn't need these other cards. We've got Trostani, so, you know, that's probably what we're going to be going for. You know, there's probably not much else that we need to do. So let me see here else. We've got 2 board wipes. I know we're a creature-heavy deck, but I think we might want to include... We might want to include another one, as weird as it sounds. I think we do need to have a little bit more in terms of board wipe potential. I think the one category I'd like to see more of, though, more than anything else, is this category right here. We've got the Intangible Virtue, which I know a lot of people really like, but I think in this deck it's not going to be that great. It's great in like Standard and Modern when, you know, obviously it's not playable in Standard right now, but when it was playable in Standard, like, it was fantastic back then. But here, I don't think it's going to be that good. You're just getting a +1/+1 static effect. You're getting Vigilance, which is okay. Like, Vigilance is great. Like, I don't think Vigilance is bad, but I think there's better options for us. So I think what I like to start off with is we definitely need more card draw. Getting maybe like 5 more effects like that would be good. I'd also like to see maybe 3 more effects here for this section as well. So that puts us up to, let me see here, 5 + 3, that's 8. So we got to drop 2 more cards here. What other 2 cards would we want to drop? It's a tough one. I was looking at this Devout Invocation, and this is tough to use because you're creating tapped... Oh, no, I'm sorry, you're not creating tapped creatures. You're creating untapped creatures. Okay, that's not too bad. I mean, it is 7 mana, and you already have to have a big board state. But it's basically like Second Harvest, except you get to have bigger creatures. That's not bad, I think. I think here it's going to be pretty good. Does everything that we have make big tokens? Like, maybe we need to look at the things that make small tokens. So anything that makes like smaller than a 3/3. Like, this is a 2/2 maker. You know, 2/2s don't really make that much. This makes 4/4s, 4/4s. This is a 5/5, I know. This is basically like ramp upped proliferate. It's even better than that. Same thing with that one. Garrick, this makes it a 3/3, which is borderline. This one makes 1/1s. Yeah, I could see dropping that one. Maybe we can find some more token producers. Maybe that's what we want to go for. We want to make more a more diverse amount of tokens here. Squirrel Nest, yes, it makes 1/1s, but it combos with our Earthcraft, so... do we want to keep it in there? I mean, Earthcraft is just good enough for this deck since we're making so many tokens anyways. Squirrel Nest, yeah, let's keep it in there. I think that's good. But we can drop these 2 token producers here, the White Sun Zenith and the Elspeth. And from there, we can add in like 2 more token producers. I'd like to add in two token producers here. I think they'd be pretty important. What else do we want to add in? Yeah, I'm looking at this life gain aspect of the deck, and that definitely makes the deck very different than a risk deck. So that's like the reason to go with Trostani, is because you want to do life gain. But I'm missing out on so many like options for why you'd want to have life gain that I'm like, kind of sad about, honestly. There's the thing that gives double strike and lifelink to all of your creatures. That's True Conviction. That I'd like to see in here. Would be fantastic. It would be super good here. I'd also like to see Felidar Sovereign and Test of Endurance. Those I think would be fantastic as well, as other ways to win the game, not just with the Aetherflux Reservoir. So there's at least 3 cards I'd like to see in here. So let's see. If we have 3 cards from that, we'll go ahead and put in 3 cards from that. This is just to take up space. We want to add in at least 5 card draws. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We want to add in... Let me see. Do I want to add any more protection? We've got 2 ways to protect against indestructibility. Or rather, to protect against board wipes. Spot removal, we've got Swiftfoot Boots, Lightning Greaves, and Privileged Position. So I like that. I think that is going to be good. I'd like to get 1 more aspect for, like, indestructible. I think that'd be nice. So 1 more way to get indestructible. We've got good tutors. Although, do I want to keep this Congregation at Dawn? Yeah, you know what? This one doesn't seem like amazing. I mean, yeah, you get to get creature cards, but and you can, get 1 at least immediately, because you can do it at your upkeep, and then draw step, you draw that card you put on top. But so much can change in 2 turns. There's no guarantee that those creatures you put on top, you'll actually want to have them, especially with the opponent seeing them. Like, that sounds like a bad time. So I think that's fine to drop that tutor. And yeah, so we're going to add that in. I think tutor's situation we're okay. Ramp situation we're okay. I'd like to add in 2 more ways to produce tokens, because I dropped 2. I think adding 2 back in would be nice. For this category, I think we want to add in 3 cards that allow us to make our creatures bigger, so we can go for the kill. We've got Aura Shards, Corrosive Grip, Beast Within, Return to Dust, Acidic Slime. Yeah, these are nice. I mean, we've got a lot of card draw, or a lot of spot removal here. As weird as it sounds, I think, Acidic Slime, we're not using it except for like a 5-mana spell. And, having the Death Touch is nice, but we're not going to be able to recur it or anything. And, board wipes happen all the time. I think Acidic Slime is fine to get rid of. It is kind of like a Return to Dust that can get rid of 2 things, but you really can't choose what you're going to hit with that. So I'm going to say Acidic Slime can probably go away as well, because we got a lot of spot removal on top of that. Recursion, it is nice to have. I'm not sure about the Witchbane Orb. Having the Hexproof, I don't know if it's really necessary in this deck to get Hexproof. Like, the decks I'd like to see, or the decks I think would be more important to have Hexproof with, is like a commander that wants to target and anybody can use the ability. Then that's a situation where you want to use the Hexproof enablers. Other than that, though, I don't think the Witchbane Orb makes a ton of sense here in this deck. Again, like, unless you have like a curse deck in your meta, or like somebody that wants to just target you with burn or something, I think you're probably targeting your creatures more than that. Glare of Subdual. So I was thinking about this one. This one's pretty good. You can tap down creatures. Also, you can tap down artifacts, but I think most of the time you're going to be using it to tap down creatures. And, at that point, you don't know if they're going to be attacking you or not. I mean, in a 1v1 situation, Glare of Subdual can do a lot, but I think here in this deck, I don't think we're going to have to worry about it too much, honestly. Let's go ahead and drop that one as well. So we'll drop that one. And you know what? I was thinking to add another source of indestructibility. I don't think we can afford to here. I think we've got to get this down. And now we've got to go down 1 more card. This is tough. This is tough. We didn't even add in the board wipes that we wanted to add in too. Yeah, there's just not a lot of room. Now let me think about this here. If people are going to be destroying our creatures, what are they going to be destroying first of all? Well, they're going to be using board wipes. So the indestructibility is going to be very important. I don't think they'll be targeting our stuff. You know what? Why don't we do this? As weird as it sounds, why don't we drop these cards? I know Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots allows you to use the Trostani immediately, but we don't have any ways to tutor for them in this deck. So, you know, they're just going to be, if we happen to get them, fine. But if not, then that's okay too. And I think because of that, we're probably okay dropping them too. I'd like to add in, let me see here. Let me start this over. So let me drop this category here. So we've got room for 13 cards. So what do I want to do for 13 cards? I want to add in 3 cards for this category. I want to add in 2 more board wipes. I want to add in 5 more card draw. So that's 10 cards already. I want to add in 3... I'm sorry, we have 15 cards here. Let's just do this. I want to add in 2 more ways to get indestructibility. So that way we're up to 12. We've got room for 3 more. I want to add in 2 more aspects for token production. And then 2 more aspects, 2 more cards for buffing up those creatures. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. We can probably drop the Sun Titan. Maybe. I don't know. I think we need to keep it in here. This is tough. So let me think about this here. Yeah, you know, we could drop the Soul of Theros. That's something that we can drop. Yeah, I think that's fine to drop here. So 16, and that gives us plenty of stuff to work with. I'm happy here. I think this is going to be good. All right, so what do I want to add in? I want to add in board wipes. I want to add in card draw. I want to add in indestructibility. Protection we're okay on. I want to add in more life gain stuff. So let's do this. Life gain. Tokens, I want to add in 2 more. And then this one, I want to add in 2 more as well. Let's go ahead and put this over here. And then we'll put this over here. Wait, did I do that wrong? Yeah, I did that wrong. I want to add this in here. Okay. Although, you know what? I wonder if maybe we just don't worry about the board wipes. Maybe that's what we do. We say, you know what? Board wipes, yada, yada, yada. We're okay on that. Maybe that's what we say here. Yeah, you know, I think this is pretty good. So we can say we want to have like 2 more here in this category. So we can say like two in that category. We want to have at least, I want to say 5 in this category. We get up to 7. That makes me feel a lot more comfortable with our card draw situation. We get 5 in that category. Are we we're going to be up to 8 in that category because we will have the Garrick, which, you know, lets you draw cards equal to the power of your biggest creature. So that's fine there. We've got 5 there. I'd like to get at least 2 more ways to give indestructibility, whether it's something like Rootborn Defenses or if it's something like Dauntless Escort, I think it was. Yeah, Dauntless Escort. So we want to have some more of those. And then there's definitely 3 cards that I can think of that you'll want to use in this category. So if we add that up, like, I think that's all we're adding in, right? Oh, I think, no, we're going to have 2 token makers too. Let's go ahead and add this up and see how close we are to the 13 before we start adding in cards. Yeah, so we'll be able to add in 4 cards, actually. Yeah, I feel happy with that. I think that's going to be pretty good. We can add in 4 token makers. Yeah, sounds pretty good. And actually, you know what? Let's do this. We'll add in 2 token makers from this. And then we will use, we'll add in actually 2 more cards over on this category. Because winning, you need to do that eventually. You know what I mean? Like, you got to do some winning at some point. So let's go ahead and start talking about cards that I know for a fact I don't need to look up what I want to include. So Felidar Guardian. This one is going to be good because if you're doing a life gain best... I did this backwards here. It's life gain... It's Felidar Sovereign. I don't know why I always get those mixed up. So Felidar Sovereign, this one's a classic card that if you're doing a life gain based deck, like, this is going to be a really good way for you to win. Test of Endurance was like the older version of it. And they said, you know, 50 life, that's just too much. Let's bring it down to 40 life. And then Commander came around and they realized their mistake. So we've got Test of Endurance, Felidar Sovereign. The other card I think would be fantastic here is True Conviction. So using that card would allow you to make this deck just all these big creatures suddenly getting Double Strike and Lifelink. Almost kind of doubles up as in this category too. So maybe that's what we'll consider it. But yeah, I think here, this is a fantastic conclusion there. Besides that, I like Craterhoof Behemoth, and I know a lot of people, you know, are not a huge fan of Craterhoof Behemoth. They see it so often, and it's like every game that if they die to combat damage, it's because of Craterhoof. So yeah, Unspokenblood. If you don't like Craterhoof, there's plenty of other options here you could choose to use instead. But I think Craterhoof is probably pretty good. We probably want to include that in this deck. What else do we want to include? We've got already the Overwhelming Stampede. That one's another really good one. What else is there? I know I've got all the options in my Baru deck. So why don't I do this? Let me go to Baru here. Let me go down to this deck. And just taking a look at this deck, I think I'll be able to find some of those cards that I'd like to include. Yeah, searching for them is just going to take, I think, a little bit too long. So let me take a look here. Where is the... There it is, Mass Buff. So that's... well, actually, Beastmaster Ascension kind of counts. But we don't get the Trample. And, you know, here the commander's getting trampled, so that was okay there. But I think in this deck, you're going to actually want to be given Trample. Same thing here with the Finale Devastation. You actually want to get literal Trample. You've already got the Overwhelming Stampede. This one does not give Trample either. Yeah, so we actually don't have a ton here. Yeah, let me go back to the search here. Let me see what I can find. So, creatures, or we can say either creatures or each creature. So, creatures or each creature. And then we're going to look for things that will give Trample. And let's start off with that. Let's start off with that here. And then I'll look for things that will give, like, +0, plus... or no, we want to give at least +3, I guess. So let's do this. Plus... and we'll want to do anything from like 3 up to 9, and then we'll have the we'll have that there. Yeah, so this is pretty good. We can get at least 3 to everything. I think it's going to be pretty good. We see the overrun there. Maybe we can take a look at 4. What can we find for 4? Titanic Ultimatum. We don't have red in this deck, unfortunately. This is ultimate, and this is red. So yeah, we're going to be looking for either for something that says exactly 3, or it says X. Or maybe it has like like it's a double-digit number. So let's take a look for it that way. Here's 3. Dragon Throne of Tarkir. It's a lot of mana though. Like it is repeatable. Don't get me wrong, but having to go 4 mana and then equip it for 3 mana and then 2 mana to activate, like that's a lot. Like that's certainly a lot here. Earthshaker Giant and Overrun are both effects that basically do the same thing. Ultimate. This one. You know what? This one's kind of cool. This one we have to attack with. Yeah, so it's tough. Like, Creator of Behemoth is the one that makes the most sense. Yeah, so do I want to include the Dragon Throne of Tarkir here? I don't think so. Like, Trostani could get it, right? But it's equal to the power, so it's not even going to be that big. I guess if we put on a 4/4... it is going to be, we lose 1 creature, but we're giving +4/+4, and it's repeatable. You know what? I'm going to say let's go for it. Dragon Throne of Tarkir. I think that's pretty good. If you didn't want to include, for example, if you didn't want to include that one, maybe you didn't want to include the Creator of Behemoth either, you can always just go for the classic Overrun and Earthshaker Giant as well. And maybe there's even an argument to be made that we just go Overrun here and call it a day. Yeah, let's do it. Let's just say Overrun. Let's just go Overrun. Literal Overrun here, I think is going to be pretty good. Now, I know we were talking about Elish Norn just giving a flat +2. This one's not going to be, as long-lasting as Elish Norn, but the fact that you're getting it right away, I think you get the +3 and Trample. I think you should be able to win the game thanks to an Overrun every now and then. All right, so we've got a lot of things here. I think that's it for giving all your creatures Double Strike, right? It's just True Conviction that does that, I believe. Let me take a look here. I'm just kind of curious. Double Strike, and then let's just get rid of all this here. And you know what? I'm just realizing something. What if we just say this? What if we get rid of all this stuff here and we just put in this place 3 to 9? I wonder what I can find. I'm going to definitely say no Planeswalkers, though. That is not going to be something. Planeswalkers. Creatures, each creature. I'm going to go ahead and say here, I'm going to put this right after it because I don't want to get things that are not doing it the right way. No Planeswalkers because obviously they're going to be mostly like ultimates and stuff, so that's not going to be very helpful for us. And let's go ahead and cut out all the things that are not in our colors. Just make it a little bit easier for us to, search through everything here. Yeah, so there's that Beastmaster Ascension again. +5/+5 is certainly a lot, but with no Trample, I'm a little bit afraid to even go for that. I don't think that's going to be very helpful here. Finale of Devastation takes 12 mana before we can actually do that, so probably not that great. What else can we do here? We have the Dragon Throne of Tarkir. Number of times this creature, that's just +1. Ooh, Jazal Goldmane. This one's pretty interesting. It's more mana than the Dragon Throne of Tarkir to do it once, right? Because this is 5 mana every time we wanted to do it, whereas this is just 2. But we get to, we actually don't give Trample, though. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. I want to give Trample. That's what I'm all about. That's what I'm here for. Each creature you control gets +3/+3. Each creature your opponents control blocks this turn if able. That's pretty cool. Non-human creatures you control get +3/+3 until end of turn. That one's pretty interesting in that it doubles up. Check this out. Collective Blessing, flat +3/+3. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That is A-okay with me. Again, I like the trample, but, you know, compared to a permanent effect, like, I'm happy with that. I'm super happy with that. We've got Overwhelm, we've got Moss. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Yeah, without a trample, you know, without the trample, I feel like I'm not really happy to use it. Again, unless it's like a permanent effect. So why don't we just take a look here. How many of these things are permanent, right? Permanent effects. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that. So Beastmaster Ascension is a flat 5/5. That's pretty good. We do need to get those 7 counters on there. But, I mean, what game are you not going to have 7 creatures in? You know what I mean? Even if you have to use 2 turns to get this up there with just 4 creatures, that's also fine. So I like that. I mean, certainly a lot better than Collective Blessing. Let's leave the Collective Blessing there for now. I think this is going to be fine. So what else we can find here? We've got Dragon Throne of Tarkir. Yeah, Jazal Goldmane. I don't like the Dragon Throne quite as much anymore, seeing the other options that we've got available. Yeah, at first I was like, oh, Beastmaster Ascension. But, you know, the fact that it's every turn, I think that makes it pretty good. You know, believe it or not, permanents are good. Let's drop the Overrun here. Obviously, Craterhoof is better. But let's go ahead and add in both of those cards. So we'll add in the Beastmaster Ascension. Beastmaster Ascension. And if this one's not that great, then obviously you can always drop this one. But we'll go ahead and add both of these in there. And then the other one here being the Beastmaster Ascension and the Collective Blessing. Collective Blessing. Yeah, so both of these cards I think will be pretty good cards in this deck. You can always drop other things here, but I think these are pretty good for those. So we've got that. Let's go to the card draw section next. And I believe one of these cards here was about card draw, right? Wasn't something here about card draw? Let me go back to the previous page. I think something here mentioned card draw, right? I remembered, like in my mind, I'm like getting like a fever dream. I remember something card draw here. No? Okay, maybe not. Maybe it was the previous page. Maybe not. Let's keep going down. What else was it? I feel like I saw card draw here somewhere. Oh, maybe it was on this page. No, it wasn't. I don't know what it was. But anyways, we got card draw. We're going to go for that pretty soon too. Trying to get some card draw into this deck. Yeah, I'm not seeing where it was, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and take a look now for some card draw options. So I'm probably going to be going to my my card draw list again. So let's go ahead and go there. Go to the draw, and let's take a look here at this deck. So we've got our buffing, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. So we can put that into this done pile. I guess we can make a whole pile of done. Right? This is just done. We need the card draw. We need the protection. We can do the protection next, I think. That's probably going to be easier. I think we've also done the life gain stuff too, right? Yeah, all 3 of those are there too. Is there anything else I want for life gain? Probably not. I think we're okay. I definitely want 2 more board wipe, or sorry, 2 more token producers. At least 5 more card draw. And then at least 2 more here. So 5, 2, and 2. That's 9. We actually have room for 10 here. So what would I want to include in addition to all this? Like, probably... that's a tough one. You know, actually, I could see putting the Soul of Theros back in, because it kind of doubles up. It allows us to have lifelink, just like this True Conviction, but it also gives a +2/+2 to our creatures. So, it's not amazing, but you know what? I think it fits in this deck. I think this deck will actually be pretty happy to have a Soul of Theros here. So, yeah, we can do 2, 2, and 5, and call it a day. Did we drop 3 token producers, actually? I think we dropped 3 of those, right? Let me see here. We got 1, 2... No, we just dropped 2. Okay, we just dropped 2. That's fine. So, yeah, we'll add in 2 more and make sure that we're even there. Okay, so let's go back here. We're going to be looking... Let's look for the Indestructible first. We'll have that ready to go, the card draw. But let's go ahead and take a look to see if we can find things that say... you know, there's Teferi's Protection, and that one I know is good because it also protects all of your permanents. And it protects it from spot removal, not just the you know, board wipes and stuff like that. Then there's also the free one that just came out in Commander 2020. So, you know what? I'd like to search, but I'm pretty sure those are the best ones. Like, I'm like 100% positive that those are going to be the best ones to add in. Now, Teferi's Protection is pretty expensive, and I'm sure the other one is too. So, let's just take a look just for giggles here. We'll take a look to see what we can find that will be a little bit better. The other one here is Flawless Maneuver. Flawless Maneuver. So we can get that one here in the deck as well. that could be pretty good ways for us to protect our board from board wipes or even spot removal if we're using the Fairy's protection. What else can we do? Let's take a look. Creature, indestructible. Let's see what we can find here. And actually, I want to do it this way. I want to say either creatures or permanents. Permanent. So I want to say either each or all of them. So why don't we do this? Copy that and paste it in there. So we're going to either say permanents or each. And we'll put like that. There we go. So we can put an additional parentheses on the outside of this. There we go. And so now we're looking at all this, and now we can finally say indestructible. Trying to give those things indestructible. And before we do this search, let me just go ahead and put these extra things in there just to make sure that we're getting our color identity just right and that we're getting our legality just right too. So Heroic Intervention, this one's fantastic too because it protects against spot removal also. So I like this one. I also like the Selfless Spirit. These are pretty good in that we can get this down. Just like we have the Dauntless Escort, we can get those down and be pretty happy. I think, yeah, the fact that board wipes can really destroy this deck so easily, we really need to be running the ways to protect our creatures here. And honestly, I feel like Heroic Intervention, that's not bad if you want to spend less money. I think this is not too expensive, right? Hopefully. Yeah, 16 bucks is still pretty expensive. Selfless Spirit, is this expensive? 8 bucks, that's still pretty expensive. Yeah, a lot of these are really pricey. Let me see if I can find something that's like less than 5 bucks, just out of curiosity here. What can we find for $5 or less? Johnny's Presence is not going to be good. Same thing, Bonds of Mortality, same thing here. Dauntless Escort, that's pretty cheap, so that makes sense here. Inspiring Call, not that great. Make a Stand would work. This gives indestructible as well. We already got the Rootborn Defenses in there. Unbreakable Formation is not bad, but yeah, obviously, if we're trying to go for the absolute best cards here, then I think the Heroic Intervention is actually pretty good. I'd probably want to drop the Dauntless Escort for that. Heroic Intervention. Yeah, I'd probably want to drop this for that one. So let's go and put that into that category. Yeah, so like that's what I would probably want to use in terms of protecting our board. Obviously, there are other cards you could use that would be better or maybe even cheaper. Actually, better not. I don't think there's. I think these are the best ones. But there are definitely cards that you could play that are cheaper and do almost the same thing. So I'm going to leave that up to you, Unspoken Blood. If you want to go for that, then that's something you can do. Let's go ahead. Let's do the token makers first, and then we will do our last category here, which is going to be the card draw. So tokens, we want to make tokens. Let's just go ahead and put in their token. So token, and we want to say, let's say we wanted to make really big tokens. Let's say we want to have it this way. We want to have parentheses on either side because we're going to put the same thing inside both of them. We're going to say like anywhere between, let's just say 4 to 9 or like X, right? You know, because both of those would be pretty good. So 4 to 9 or X. So let's see what we can find here. Making tokens that are big. And I'm going to be looking at it through CMC. So we can suspend 1 to make 4s, but I think permanent ways to make tokens is even better. So let's just take a look here for permanents. And let's look for things that don't say sacrifice. I don't want to be sacrificing my permanents because that's going the opposite direction of what we want to do. So we're going to say sacrifice. And I'm seeing the rapid prototyper in there. I'm going to get rid of all the things that are not legal in EDH. Call it a day. All right, so Dragon Master Outcast. This one's not bad. I mean, it's 1 mana. You wait until you have 6 lands, and then once you get it down, you can make 5/5s that you can proliferate. But we're not in the. We have to get a different color identity, obviously. I was thinking of the Naya proliferate one here. That would be good there, but not here. We're not going to have a lot of artifacts for us to use with the Ovia Pashiri, and that's 5 mana anyway, so that's not even that cheap in mana cost. This is 6 mana. This is about opponents casting blue spells during your turn. Not going to be super likely, I think. This one costs 3 mana to make a 4/4, which is not bad, but we have to draw 4 cards before we can do it. And we're certainly not like a wheel deck or anything, so I don't think Hoofprints of the Stag is going to be very helpful. Luminarch Ascension, though, on the other hand, I think this one's going to be fantastic. I think that will actually be really good here. Nissa Vastwood Seer, we have to have 7 mana before we can actually use that. So, yeah, probably not going to be very helpful for us here. Helm of Cauldron will need all of those effects. And again, Architect of the Untamed, we're not going to be using Landfall. Whenever a player plays a creature spell, destroy all reflections. Okay, well that destroys our idea of trying to proliferate stuff here. Resplendent Angel. If we're gaining 5 life, we get to create a 4/4. This one's a bit interesting because, you know, the 4/4 will get us 4 life. We can get the life link here with that effect. I kind of like it, honestly. Resplendent Angel, and I also like the Angelic Accord. I think both of those are pretty cool here. I'd like to add in both of those. Although maybe, you know, we're going to be... this is a tough one here. With Resplendent Angel, is it very likely we'll be able to gain 5 life each turn? Like, we're making 4/4s. We have a lot of ways to make 4/4s in this deck. A 4/4 entering allows us to gain 4 life. Maybe the Resplendent Angel is just too risky. Like, we're probably not going to have enough life gain to actually get that going. You know what? I'm going to say this, as weird as it sounds, like, we're doing a life gain based deck, but, like, maybe we'll be gaining 1 life or 2 life here and there, and, like, more than 4 life or 5 life, right? Right? Maybe that's what we're doing? I don't know. Again, we're coming back to that idea of, like, should we keep the squirrel nest or not? I think we need to. I really do. I really think we need to keep that in here. We've got beast makers. Like, with any of our doublers, like, the beast suddenly allows us to gain 5 life. You know what? I'm going to keep both of them. I think both of them are pretty good here. Luminarch Ascension, I know this is a card that can, like, single-handedly win the game. You get it down early on, nobody attacks you, you can start making 4/4s for 2 mana. I think that's good enough for this deck. I think this deck is going to really like that effect here. You know, technically we could say not to include the Angelic Accord because it's 4 mana. We only include, like, a 2-drop and a 3-drop. That's fine, actually. Yeah, I think that's pretty good here. We keep just those 2 cards because they're so cheap that we'll be okay with both of them. Okay, so why don't we do that here? Luminarch Ascension, and again, you're gonna try to get this onto the battlefield once you've got a way to protect yourself from losing a whole lot of life from a creature that's attacking you. So I think that's gonna be not too hard for us to do here. Maybe. I mean, if you're making big tokens, people are probably not going to attack you. And then you can also make flying tokens here too, so that should be pretty good as well. And then the Resplendent Angel. Resplendent Angel. We'll go ahead and add that here as well. Resplendent Angel seems pretty good. Oops, did I misspell this? I think I did. I always get mixed up on the ENTs and the ANTs. Like, those always hit me in the side. There we go. Resplendent Angel with an E. Alright, so that's it for the tokens. So literally, we're just going to spend our last 5 categories finding some card draw for this deck, because I think we do want to actually have more card draw in here. So let's go and take a look. We're white and green, so we want to look for cards. Well, we actually want to eliminate the blue cards, because we're not blue here. So let's go ahead and go down. We're not doing plus encounters, -1 counters, adventures, artifacts, auras, big commanders, big non-token creatures. Actually, yeah, we are kind of doing the big, not non-token creatures. Big token creatures, yeah, we're definitely doing that here. Colossal Majesty, I kind of like that one. We can use that to draw cards that are upkeep. Power 4 or greater. I think we'll be okay there. I think we'll be able to do that. Elemental Bond. This one's pretty good too because our proliferate can allow us to draw cards. So I like that one a lot. Greater good, that means we have to sacrifice them. I'm not super excited about that one, to be honest. And then Garrick's Pack Leader. This one's 5 mana. I'm going to say no to the 5-drops for now. And if we need to, we can come back to them. Like, Garrick's Pack Leader is pretty cool, but, you know, we'll probably find 5 options, not having to go to 5-drops. Triumph of Ferocity. I don't think we're going to have the biggest creature on the board. Right? Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, there's going to be a lot of other players who are going to have even bigger creatures than us. So let's keep going down here. Discard is not going to be what we're doing. We're not going to be enabling Double Strike all that often. No enchantments. Oh, at least not an Enchantress theme. Not an equipment theme. Evasive Commanders, Evasive Creatures, Evasive Double Strikers, Non-Humans. Yeah, nothing evasive. No explorations. We're not fighting a lot. We're not flashing in stuff a lot either. Let's see what else we've got here. We're not goading. We're not using good stuff. Graveyard Hate's not our thing either. No Hellbent. No Heroic. No instant speed stuff. We're not doing a whole lot of instants. We're not doing Landfall, Legends, Library Manipulation, Life Gain. Ooh, Life Gain. Yeah, we're doing that. Dawn of Hope seems pretty good. Yeah, 2 mana, get that down. We can start using that. Same thing with the Well of Lost Dreams. I think both of those would be pretty good here. Let's keep going down, though. Lures, monocolored theme, big creatures. Yeah, probably not going to have bigger creatures than our opponent necessarily. Non-token creatures, not playing lands, Pillow Fort, Pingers, Proliferate, Renown, Strategy Independent. Let me see here. We've got Compost. This has actually been working pretty well for me, so I'm going to suggest that one here. Runic Armor Star has not, though, so I'm not going to suggest that one. Oracle's Vault, I think everything up to this point has been better than that. Like, even our Dawn of Hope is better. Yeah, everything else is better up to this point. So we won't include those in the suggestions. And then Mind's Eye here, another 5-drop we won't need to suggest. Are we going to have sacrificable non-token creatures? No. Are we going to have sacrificable token creatures either? I don't think so. Token black creatures. Yeah, token creatures here. I don't think we'll be able to actually use this that much. Like, we want to keep our tokens out there on the battlefield. We don't want to sacrifice them here in this deck. Let's see what else we've got here. Sacrificable. We're not sacrificing nothing. Sagas, self-discarding, self-flickering commanders, small non-token creatures, small token creatures. I don't think we'll be doing that either. So let's keep going down. Tokens, yeah, Idol of Oblivion I think would be fantastic in a deck like this. We're going to be making so many tokens. This is going to be perfect for us here. What else can we do? Tribal, we're not doing anything tribal. We're not doing any untapper stuff. We're not doing vehicles. We're not doing zombies. So we've got here 6 options. So what's the worst out of these 6 options? A lot of these require us to have token production already like up and going. Some of it requires us to gain life. Like, I mean, all of these are pretty good. Do we actually have enough card draw in this deck? A Johnny, Mentor of Heroes. Let me take a look at this card here really quick. Look at the top 4 cards of your library and reveal an aura, creature, or planeswalker card. Well, we don't have a lot of planeswalkers. We do have a lot of creatures, though. So I think Johnny here is not too bad. Harmonize here, though. You know, I'm not a huge fan of it. I think all those other cards are probably better than Harmonize. But you know what? This is Unspoken Blood's deck, so we're going to leave that Harmonize in there. Idol of Oblivion, Compost, Dawn of Hope. I mean, all the 2-drop options I like a lot. Elemental Bond, Colossal Majesty. I think these are good here. Well of Lost Dreams is technically the only card here that's 4 mana. And you know what? I think it's probably okay to drop that here. We'll just not include that one. But that is, again, another option that you could use. So let's go ahead and add in these cards here. Colossal Majesty, Elemental Bond, Dawn of Hope, Compost, and Idol of Oblivion. I think will be pretty good. Let's go ahead and put those in here. And I think that'll wrap up the deck, right? Idol of Oblivion. One nice thing about that, too, since we're doing a proliferate deck, if we want to ever sacrifice the Idol of Oblivion, we can use that to generate an 10-10 colorless Eldrazi token. So that can definitely get out of control if we wanted to use it that way. But obviously, the card right here is also pretty good. Colossal Majesty is the next card here that we can use. And you know what? Some of these card draw options are a little bit on the riskier side. Like if you wanted to go for Well of Lost Dreams over Compost because you're worried that Compost, you're just never going to see an opponent with, you know, black sources, or at least it's not going to happen literally every game. So in that situation, Compost might not be super great here. We're going to go ahead and add in the Elemental. Was it Elemental Resonance? No, it was Elemental Bond, I believe. Elemental Bond. We'll go ahead and add that one in here as well. And then the final card that we can add in is the, I'm forgetting actually, what is it? Dawn of Hope. There we go. Dawn of Hope. We'll go ahead and add that one in as well. Dawn of Hope. Now, that's a card I like a lot of times, especially if you're doing a lot of life gain. I think that's going to work out pretty well in this deck. So we'll go ahead and add that in. And that's going to be the deck Doctor here. Finally finished with it. So we can go ahead and put these cards back into their respective categories. And yeah, we never managed to add in those 2 extra board wipes. But you know what? We're playing so many tokens and creatures and whatnot. I think this is going to be fine. Let's go ahead and put this category here as well. And you know what? Elish Norn is a bit of a risk, honestly, because with Elish Norn, somebody can steal it or copy it, and then suddenly you're out of a way to win. So I think this is pretty good. From where we're at, we're dropping these 16 cards here: Sarah Avatar, Altar of the Brood, Loxodon Hierarch, Karmic Justice, Essence Warden, Intangible Virtue, Elspeth. Knights Errant, we've got White Sun Zenith, Congregation at Dawn, Acidic Slime, Witchbane Orb, Glare of Subdual, Privileged Position, Lightning Greaves, Swiftfoot Boots, and Dauntless Escort, dropping those for Felidar Sovereign, Test of Endurance, True Conviction, Creator of Behemoth, Beastmaster Ascension, Collective Blessing, Teferi's Protection, Flawless Maneuver, Heroic Intervention, Luminarch Ascension, Resplendent Archangel, or Resplendent Angel, I think it is. Resplendent Angel, right? Is that the card? Yeah, Resplendent Angel. Idol of Oblivion, Colossal Majesty, Compost, Elemental Bond, and Dawn of Hope. So thank you so much to Unspoken Blood for being my patron and being awesome. So huge thank you to them. Thank you to all my patrons over at patreon.com/magicalhacker. If you want to see me look at your deck, do a deck doctor, or do a deck gameplay, or a deck tech, or whatever, definitely check out Magical Hacker's Patreon account at patreon.com/magicalhacker. Find all that stuff there. But I had a lot of fun doing this deck doctor here over Trostani Selesnya's voice. Hopefully you enjoyed it as well. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Gavony Township. Stay awesome, everybody.